Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are from an upcoming virtual art show coming up at Gilded Pear Gallery. Lauren Tucci joins me. Hi, Lauren. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Dennis.
And the artist who is going to be the subject of the show also is with us from his studio in Cedar Rapids, John Beckelman. Hi, John.
How are you, Dennis?
Great, great. Nice to have you both here. So first off, Lauren, tell me how it's going. All of our artists of all kinds, performing artists, visual artists, trying to figure out how to keep doing their thing in this time of social distancing. And your gallery, of course, art's a very visual, a very tactile, especially John's stuff, things you want to see, you want to walk around, you want to look at. How's it going? How are you holding up?
Well, so we're doing okay so far. Our services are still in full motion, and we had a lot of projects that were started before all of the outbreak happened, and we're still working on them. We are doing we do custom framing. We've been doing pickups for clients, and things keep rolling on. Outside of obviously visitors, we miss them, but so far so good. But everything has slowed, much like everybody else's. So, but we're keeping on and bringing everything to you virtually.
And John's show was to begin with a reception, like you always do, on the first Friday of the exhibition, which would have been this Friday. So now it's going to be more of an online opportunity, but you're going to keep everything under wraps until Friday and then launch it at that time.
Correct. Yep, it'll all be available to view on online Friday. There will be photography of all the works in space as well as individual works for sale.
John, you retired somewhat recently as an art professor at Coe College, where you were for years and years and years, and now you maintain a studio at the Iowa Ceramics Center in the Cherry Building in Cedar Rapids, which you can still use. So that's an upside. You're not you're not unable to access your workspace, and you work in ceramics and pottery and also paint. Yes, am I getting that right?
Yeah, a variety of media in addition to clay. My original training was in art was in clay and ceramics, and I've just continued to expand over the years in the variety of materials that I use. And so I get great pleasure out of working both two-dimensionally, putting things on the wall, and then also working in 3 dimensions.
The title of the show is Stillness and Occurrence.
Yeah.
How long have you been prepping for the materials that you're going to put into this? And then, even though Lauren, of course, has the big list, just kind of give me the global overview of the kinds of things that you wanted to put into this.
Well, the show is composed of a variety of things I've been doing over the past year or so. I had finished a small suite of works, 6 pieces that were in the Museum of Art for almost a year. They just came down. Now they've all gone back up in the gallery. And so it's nice to see those back up so people can see them. But in the meantime, I've also been working on a new series of work, both 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional, that use some of those same materials, some of the same ideas, but I've expanded a little bit to include some other materials and just looking at different ways of using those materials to sort of express the feelings, ideas, thoughts that I'd like my work to have.
Lauren, those of us who are watching the video can see the beginnings of the show actually in the background. Again, the name of the show is Stillness and Occurrence. Tell me how that went into how you decided to stage and display the art, especially since now most of it is not going to be viewed in person.
Yeah, so Stillness and Occurrence became a lot of space, and so all of the works have a fair amount of space around them, and so the arrangements of those are are quieter and less busy. So nothing's grouped together tight. And so they all get to kind of live on their own. But then, as you can see, there's a couple of linear wall objects, horizontal objects. I paired things together between the very hard surface of the concrete pieces with the more active wall pieces that incorporate a ton of different materials, anywhere from brass rods to steel cable, wood, other mixed media elements, and plexiglass and glass. And so giving each object their own space to talk and converse with the other pieces around it.
John, as Lauren has described, there's a lot of different mixed media, a lot of different material. Yep. Do you use a lot of found materials? Do you cast and make a lot of this? Tell me how the physical texturing happens.
Sure. I've always been intrigued by working with a variety of other materials combined with clay. And a lot of my work when I first started was clay that had been fired in kilns, as is more traditionally, the way clay is finished. A number of years ago, I began experimenting with combining clay with materials that would make the clay stable and hard and durable, but not have to be fired in a kiln. And I discovered, and so I did, I've been experimenting with that for a number of years now. And I really like the idea of being able to create these objects, its tactile quality and the way it cracks and the way it can be formed and shaped, and have it still be permanent and durable, but not have to fire it in a kiln. It sort of enlarges in many ways the kinds of forms I can make that would be difficult to do on a larger scale in a kiln. I don't know if that makes sense. And then in doing that, I experimented with some binders that I could mix with clay. So it handles like regular clay, it forms like regular clay, but it becomes hard and durable and doesn't need to be fired. And one material I worked with is from a local business in town, Klinger Paints. I'll give them a shout out. They make a binder for their acrylic paints, which is a clear, colorless binder. You can't buy it in the store, but I was able to acquire some from the factory. And so I did a lot of work experimenting with that, combining it with clay, and I just love the qualities that would come out of that. Lately, I've been experimenting with mixing dried clay with tar. And it creates a kind of surface and textural quality that is really striking to me, and I can find no other way to get it other than this combination. Again, it dries hard and it's durable, but it's just a little bit different than what you might ordinarily see.
Lauren, since we can't experience the exhibit in person, tell me how we're going to experience it online.
Oh, sure. So our website will have everything available. If you're in touch with our social media, a lot of the work will be posted there as well. And the website will list everything in a shop view, much like you would see other things to buy online, but then there will also be pictures and video of the exhibition as a walkthrough.
So we'll be able to walk through on video like we would walk through the shop when we're there.
Yes, very much so.
Except without the really, really tasty pot stickers and cheese that you normally have at your at your openings. So the exhibit will launch on Friday at the time, just like it would launch if we were coming there in person. And I know that right now, and again, it's kind of a fingers crossed thing, the plan is to, instead of having an opening reception where John can be there and we can all see everything at the same time, hoping maybe to do that as the exhibit closes. Is that the plan?
Yep, that's the plan. The tentative date for that is May 22nd, but we're asking that everybody just keep an eye on our website to see how to connect with us for that reception, whether it's in person and it looks like at this point in time it might be more virtual, which is just fine, but that we'll be conducting a lot of communication on our website and through our social media.
Well, congratulations to you both for finding a creative way to keep this going, even during a time when we can't actually come and see everything in person. And I'm looking forward to seeing all the pieces launch when they launch on the website. And again, fingers crossed, we'll all be able to gather in person toward the end of May for the closing reception. John Beckelman, thanks so much for being with me today.
Thank you for having me.
And Lauren, a pleasure as always. Thank you, and good luck with the exhibit.
Thanks so much, Dennis. Stay well.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:20, or download the podcast, watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture, or using your favorite podcast app. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.